And I'll call you, son.
For Panasonic Business News. We're here at the Center for Mexican Art.
Estamos aquí en el Centro de Arte Mexicana. Vamos adentro.
Let's go inside.
This is one of the many exhibits here at the Museum of Fine Arts. This is a display of El Día de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. We're here with one of the tour guides, Victoria. Victoria, what is this display about?
Actually, it's kind of hard to condense all this information into one little piece or a few minutes. But basically, what we have here is this ofrenda commemorating people who have passed away or have fought or have been involved in wars, in revolutionary wars. For example, we have a character here representing Zapata. And Zapata was a Mexican hero. Right around 1910, he fought for the land, fought for people, for the poor.
Victoria, what does all the food here and fruit symbolize?
Okay, the cempasúchil flowers and the fruits are here for the purpose. It was believed that the spirits would enjoy the scent, the aroma of the flowers. They have a very strong scent, very strong aroma, and so it's basically very simple for their enjoyment. Also, the flowers are here as a guide. Since they do have this strong aroma, it was believed that the spirits would find their way home. It was kind of like a trail to find their way home, and they would set them out in order for the spirits to find their way.
And is the Day of the Dead only one day, or is it celebrated throughout the week?
The Day of the Dead is celebrated on November 1st, All Saints Day, and November 2nd, All Souls Day.
Okay, and are these candles lit, and at what time?
You can light them at midnight on October 31st, which would be actually November 1st. You have a choice. You could light them up for both days or for the whole month, whichever you like.
And what is all this pottery and the corn stalks and everything symbolize?
The pottery, the corn, they're a source of our life in Mexico, or the ancient life in Mexico. Basically, a lot of the foods in Mexico are done out of corn, made out of corn, tamales, tortillas. We even have drinks that are made out of corn. And so corn represents agriculture, nature, as well as the pottery, our way of life.
And there are many religious signals in here. Is it a religious holiday, or?
Actually, pre-conquest times in Mexico, we would celebrate the Day of the Dead perhaps for a whole month at a time, maybe the whole month of November. With the arrival of the Spanish, we celebrated the Day of the Dead on November 1st and November 2nd, which are Catholic holidays, All Saints Day and All Souls Days. The reason for this, there's a few theories. One theory was that we celebrated we celebrated the Day of the Dead on Catholic holidays in order to fool the Spanish into believing that they had successfully converted us into Catholicism.
Thank you. So Victoria, can you give us a general idea of what this exhibit is about?
Sure. Okay, this exhibit's done by Humberto Gonzalez, and it's basically commemorating people who he knows who have passed away. He's from Puebla, Mexico, and each candle here represents an individual, a person who has passed away, people who he knows who have passed, ancestors, family members, friends.
Can you explain some of these things, like the cigarettes and the bottle?
Okay, sure. We have here, these are elements that would apply to curanderos. Curanderos are basically spiritual healers, and they're not particular, they're not unique to Mexico, they're all over the world. What a curandero believes is, for example, make it very simple, if I sneeze and I cough, they believe that what's causing the sneezing and coughing is not my illness or anything related scientifically, but rather that an evil spirit is causing the coughing and the sneezing. We associate cigarettes and alcohol with bad habits. And so it is assumed, or it was assumed in ancient times, that the evil spirits would leave our bodies if we offered these things to them.
What are all the fruits here for?
We have fruits and the cempasúchil flowers, known they're family to the marigold. The reason we have the flowers and the fruits are for the sake of the spirits to smell them, for their enjoyment. The cempasúchil flowers and the fruit have a very strong aroma, very strong scent, that it was believed that would draw in the spirits. So it's for their enjoyment, as well as the food and the drinks on the table.
This ofrenda is dedicated to the memory of Mr. Francisco G. Mendoza's mother, Mrs. Gregoria de Mendoza Ibarra. This artist has a photo mosaic of his mother, which has pictures of her everyday life. In an effort to recreate his mother's personal space and objects made by her own hands, he has included some of the following: a turquoise carpet just like the one she had in her home, and a round table with a tablecloth and sweater. This ofrenda also includes memories written in English and Spanish in remembrance of Galita.
As you can see in this display, there's a kitchen table filled with objects that we believe might have belonged to an architect. We also believe that this man was a drinker and a smoker, for the fact that there is a wine bottle and an ashtray. More evidence that tells us that this man was an architect was that we found pencils, protractors, and compasses.
We're lucky to be here with el señor Domingo Muñoz de Puebla, México. Señor Muñoz, ¿cuánto tiempo le tarda para hacer esto y pintarlo y todo?
20 minutos para hacerlo, un día para que se seque y 20 minutos para pintarlo.
Ok, ¿y de dónde aprendió a hacer estos?
Pues mi papá me enseñó.
¿Hace cuántos años?
Hace 25 años.
El Día de los Muertos, ¿qué significa para usted?
Pues el recordar a nuestras familias que han muerto.
¿Y por qué hace usted estas figuras?
Pues para recordar a los muertos y porque me enseñó mi papá.
¿Y usted hace diferentes clases de figuras?
Sí, ahorita es por temporada de muertos, pero ya una vez pasando la temporada se hacen otras cosas nuevas con cara de gente.
¿Y usted piensa enseñarle a sus hijos cómo hacer esto?
Sí, sí.
¿Y ellos les gustan hacer esto contigo?
Muy poco.
¿Y las figuras que hace, los hace de todas clases y le hace comida y como un set, como la casa y todo?
Sí, de todas formas, sí, de todo, cualquier cosa que me pidan yo lo hago.
Gracias.
De nada. Su cráneo.
One of the highlights for us was the gift shop, where I got to buy my favorite, skull candy, which is the best part of the Day of the Dead.
Thank you for joining us here at the Mexican Museum of Fine Arts. We had a very good time.
Gracias por acompañarnos al Museo de Bellas Artes Mexicanas. Nos divertimos mucho.
What you saw was a small part of what this museum has to offer.
Lo que vieron es solo un ejemplo pequeño de lo que este museo tiene que ofrecer.
When you have time, just come on down and remember, it's free.
Cuando tengan tiempo, vengan al museo y recuerden, es gratis.